Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing LEGO DC Superheroes set number 76161 1989 Batwing. This set is meant for ages 18 and up. It's got 2,363 pieces and it retails for $200 in the US. This was released at the end of October in 2020, and it is like kind of the companion to the 1989 Batmobile set, which released in November of 2019. I have made a comparison video about the two of them, so you can check that out. This is the exact same Michael Keaton Batman minifigure that was also seen in the 1989 Batmobile. That set gave him this incredible, specially molded piece, which is a one-piece cape and cowl. This is made out of a rubber, so you can like squish it a little bit. I really love this piece. I think it looks awesome, just like Michael Keaton's Batman, and it actually does serve like the purpose of having it be 100% accurate, because you can't turn Batman's head in this costume. And that's something that Michael Keaton said about the actual outfit in the movie, was that he couldn't turn his head. So I kind of like that, that kind of feature. He's just using the regular Bruce Wayne face. I really wish that they had made a special face for Michael Keaton, because that would have been like even better for this set. He also doesn't have the bat insignia printed on his chest. I think that that's okay, although it is kind of weird to just see that hole there. Although I know that some people are kind of upset because they would have liked to just have a regular cape and now they can't because there's no Batman logo. So I do understand like those complaints. On the back, you can see he does have the alternate face as well as some back printing. We do get a new Joker variant in this set as well. This is the Joker in his mime outfit from the end of the movie, from my understanding. I haven't seen it, so I apologize if I don't know a ton about this stuff. I love this minifigure, though, like maybe even more than the Jack Nicholson Joker in the Batmobile set, because he's just so detailed. I love like the checkerboard pattern on the pants. I really like they're just using the old top hat piece, but I really like his face. And then he's holding this little quill, which I think he uses to like kill the mayor or something in the movie. And then he has this wonderful little cloth piece around the legs. That looks really good as well. Like it could be a little bit tighter, but I mean, you could just try pressing it into place. And overall, I just think that this is another fantastic exclusive minifigure. Lastly, we do have the Boombox Goon minifigure. I mean, I like this guy, but from my understanding, he's just a random goon in the movie, and there was another person that people liked more named Lawrence. The best part about this minifigure is definitely that Joker card arm printing. That's incredible. I hope that we see, more stuff like that in the future, more Joker cards. He does have a bit of back printing as well, and he carries his boombox accessory. I just think that this is a little bit of a weird minifigure for this set. He's an interesting exclusive, but if he's not even like the most well-known goon, I don't understand the point of making him other than to get that nice arm printing. And also, I just would have really liked to see another important character, like give me Harvey Dent, or I would have really loved it if they gave us Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman and based the set off of Batman Returns, but I understand why they didn't. The Batwing is absolutely gigantic. I don't even know like the full wingspan of this thing. I haven't measured it, but it's just enormous and it looks really good. I do have it facing backwards on the display stand right now because it's usually angled in a flying upwards position, but this makes it just a lot easier to view. So I am going to start out by looking at that display stand, but the reason I'm starting out with that is because, as you can see, as I just tried to turn this around, the display stand is super weak. It's wobbling around a lot, and this thing is just too wide considering the size of the display stand. It's very shaky to a ridiculous degree. Like, I have never seen like a UCS style set have such a weak display stand. I think that this thing really needed to be a lot wider and taller to support this thing better. We do have that nice UCS information plaque. Sorry, the glare from the camera makes it a little bit hard to see, but you can lift it up and then it does have all of the stats about the Batwing. And that just attaches to those studs right there. And I really like that look because for the Batmobile, you couldn't actually stick like the plaque like angled upwards. It was always lying flat on its back. The rest of the stand, it is this nice light bluish gray color, and the way that it connects to the actual set is that there's just a little hole in the bottom of the Batwing. So you can just lift this off pretty easily, and that hole is marked by like that Azure Technic brick right there, just like the Batmobile. Here's a look at the stand without the set on it. I do really like the light bluish gray just because, you know, the entire set is black. A black display stand would be kind of boring. And it looks great because they've really taken efforts to smooth it over. I just am like in awe at how weak it is. Like you can see like the Technic pins are like popping out over here just from like wobbling the set around. That is kind of ridiculous. This should be a lot stronger. And yeah, you can wall mount the set, which I will be doing. But I mean, I wanted to wall mount it just to kind of save shelf space. But now I'm wall mounting it because the stand is just too weak to hold it. I don't really trust it. This is what the stand looks like mounted in the correct way with the Batwing flying. Now, this is a really nice look. I just think that this makes it kind of even weaker. So I do like having it pointing down. And then it also just makes it really hard to look at. You know, if this is on a shelf, you won't be able to see it. At least if it's angled down, you can see it. So this is a lot better from a lower viewing angle, I think. Although I do like how you can have it, you know, like kind of going up in flight and then also kind of pointing downwards in flight. Even though I don't really trust the stand, I will be keeping it on it for the rest of the review because it's just a lot easier to look at the Batwing and talk about the details on this thing. So let's start up at the front. You can see that we kind of have this bat ear design, and I love the way that these are built like kind of onto the sides and then pasted on. You also have what I think are supposed to be a couple of machine guns. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen the 89 movies. I know I need to. But I really love all of the sloping in here, especially like these gentle curves for the wings. And then we do have some lights embedded in the wings as well. So I'm pretty happy with the front of this thing. It looks suitably bat-like to me, but not ridiculous. Then I guess we should talk about the wings a little bit. So the way that they're built is that they're mostly built just using a bunch of angled plates and Technic bricks, and then you kind of paste like this extra edge on. So it connects in a couple of different points. And yeah, it's not a perfect curve. You can see it is broken up quite a bit. Although everything is so black, I feel like you don't really see those cracks unless you're looking for them. A little bit of light bluish gray does show through, but again, it's not terrible. And I really respect how the designer got that to fit in because it does fit perfectly along those angled plates. And there's actually a fun printed like Batman logo tile hidden inside while you're building. So I really liked that feature. I definitely think the designer did the best they could here because it's just kind of impossible to get like an unbroken curve in Lego. So the wings use some like 1x8 tiles to give a nice look. And then you also have a ton of grills placed back here. I think it's like 43 at the back of each wing. A little bit excessive, but I mean, that look does look great. And then we actually have adjustable wing flaps over here. And sadly, this is like the only play feature of the set is that these can move up and down. And those do expose some dark bluish gray pieces back there. So I do like that feature. I just kind of wish that there were more play features on this thing, like the Batmobile, because that's part of what made the Batmobile so interesting to me. We do have some more detail on the wing as we get closer to the cockpit. You do have like that nice little dark bluish gray grille area. And again, I just really love all the angles on this set, almost as much as I love the curves on the Batmobile. And we do have some machine guns up here. I like the way that they're built, and you can angle those in and out a little bit. The back of the vehicle is pretty magnificent. This is probably my favorite area of the build besides the cockpit because you have like the same kind of curving in here as you do in the front, except these do come out a little bit more. I really like that. I love, you know, like the ends of the curves around the cockpit, how it just like bleeds into kind of like the tail of the bat. And this just really looks fantastic with all of the layering of those wedge plates. I think it looks really great, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. The one thing I don't like is you can see like a little hint of green poking through over there, and there's a little hint of red on the other side down there. Might be a little bit hard to see, but it is kind of noticeable, like especially from this angle, and that's just because of the color of the Technic bricks they used inside. Would have preferred if they used black, but again, that's not a huge deal because you only see it from some angles. Now, for the cockpit, you do have like these really nice curved pieces along the side. That just like helps raise it out of the body of the Batwing. And then you have what I think are supposed to be missile launchers over here. Those don't actually shoot though. And then you have like the scalloped wings at the top that are similar to the ones on the Batmobile. They aren't built in the same way, but I feel like they kind of achieve the same shape, and those can be angled out a little bit. They aren't supposed to be, but that's just like how they get that angle. Then at the very top of the cockpit, you actually have this little flag sticking out. And then there is like this, I think it's a space shuttle piece here that just completes the curve all the way back into the tail. And again, I just really like the curving on all of this. The glass for the cockpit is actually made up of a castle turret piece. It's also used as the cockpit on the UCS Millennium Falcon. That's in a trans black. I don't know if they've made that piece in that color before, but it looks great. And then just a couple of like curved cylindrical wall panels. This doesn't clip in with any pieces whatsoever. You can just remove the entire thing very easily. And again, I do really like the curving on here, but I might have preferred, like, I definitely would have preferred a new like one mold glass piece, just because I really like new Lego molds, especially windshield pieces. And also, you know, Lego's new plastic gets scratched up very easily, and this one does have a lot of scratches, even though all of these pieces came in a separate bag by themselves, and having just one large piece would have reduced that risk of scratching. The cockpit is not quite as cushy as the Batmobiles. I don't like the headrest as much here, but it's still got the same dark bluish gray look, and you can angle it backwards and forwards a little bit, as well as the headrest, to get a different look if you want. And there are stickers all along the edges, just like in the Batmobile, but let's get another angle to look at that. All right, it's kind of hard to get a good look here, but you can see that back here, you do actually have a sticker showing like a minifigure being targeted. That's pretty great. And then you do have a couple of joysticks here as well, and you can pull on those, so I do like that functionality. It's a lot easier to get into the cockpit when I'm not restricted by my tripod. So here's a much better look at all of the stickers. I'll just move that out of the way so you can see that there's even stickers all the way back there. And again, stickering is excessive in this set, but when it looks this good, I really don't mind. And over here, you actually have an image of one of the balloons that Joker uses in the parade at the end of the movie. You do have a little hood piece back here that has a sticker on it with Batman's logo, and it does say Bat Engine. But if you push on it, you'll notice that there are actually 2 red crowbars in there. Those are part of the wall mounting feature. You take the red crowbars and you use them to pry up the seat of the Batwing, and that reveals the Technic wall hanger element that you'll use to mount the set. You can see all of that in my separate Batwing wall mounting video. And here's one last look at the set off of the stand. You can see it is humongous, although it is pretty flat once it's sitting on the ground. And again, I just love the shape of this set. Like, I just want to spin it like this for like hours. And honestly, like, especially while building it, more so while building it than while it's finished. But while I was building this thing, I just wanted to throw it like a frisbee, even though I would never actually do that. Here are the extra pieces. Honestly, I would have expected more for a set of this size. My favorites are definitely this cool yellow, like Technic one, or sorry, not Technic, but just 1x1 stud with a bar. This was introduced as a superheroes kind of like accessory holding piece. This in black is awesome. And then we also get 2 extra quills and a batarang. Here's the box for this set. Sorry about the glare of my light on it. It is much glossier than most Lego sets. And I do really like the black 18+ style box art for this set. So on top, you do have a nice shot of the set. On the sides, you have that nice art of Michael Keaton. And then around the back, you just have some more views of the set showing how it can be wall mounted. And something else that was really weird is that the inside of the box is actually a white cardboard. I've never seen that on any other Lego box. It's always just been brown cardboard. So I just found that to be kind of interesting. Here's the instruction manual for this set. I do really like that 1989 Batwing logo that they made, as well as the regular 1989 logo on the back. You've got the parts inventory, and then there's actually a ton of stuff at the back of the manual showing you how to wall mount it, detailed instructions, which I will be covering in my video. And oh, I almost forgot to mention, there's actually a ton of stuff at the front that's really interesting to read about. So you've got like all of this information about the Batwing. That's a great shot of it against the moon. And it's just really interesting to learn more about it and compare it to the original vehicle. I feel like it's not a perfect recreation, like looking at these images, you know, like the cockpit isn't like as curvy, but obviously this is just a really hard thing to capture in Lego. And I feel like they did a very good job of it. And you've got the designer over there. So honestly, even if you're not getting this set, I would say pull up the instruction manual and read about it, because it's really, really interesting. And they also have this nice shot of the 2 vehicles together. I like this set a lot. I think it's wonderfully designed. It's gigantic. It looks gorgeous as a display model. I love the minifigures, except I do have a couple of issues. I feel like they could have done the cockpit a little bit better, especially in comparison to those reference images. The front could have been a little bit sleeker, but I'm not a stickler for that kind of stuff. Like, I only noticed it, while I was flipping through that manual, like, for this review. So I'm not as concerned with stuff like that. What I am concerned about is stuff like the Boombox Scoon is kind of a useless minifigure. Like, I love the arm printing, but come on, like, we should have had like Harvey Dent or Catwoman or something. I would have loved Catwoman and Penguin to be the minifigures. Although I do really love that mime Joker. And then the other thing is that in comparison to the Batmobile, this set is just kind of boring. Like, no offense to it, but all you can do is like take off the cockpit glass and fold up those flaps. Like, yeah, you can wall mount it. They're really pushing that feature, but that's not a play feature. That's a display feature. And the Batmobile had amazing play features. It had like the front steering, it had the sliding open cockpit, it had like the machine guns that would pop out when you turned like the rear engine. That's what sets the Batmobile apart for me. It's a beautifully designed set, it's a perfect display piece, and it has those unexpected functions. For me, this set just doesn't pack that extra punch that the Batmobile does. It's still a great display piece. I still highly recommend it, but this is a $200 set. The Batmobile's $250. I'd say buy the Batmobile. If you want both, great. I love having both. They display very well together. Check out my collection video with the two of them. But between the two, the Batmobile is definitely better. This one, I think once it's hung on the wall, though, it is going to be like amazing to look at when you walk into the room just because of how big it is and how perfectly it captures that bat shape. So those are my thoughts on this set. That's pretty much it for today. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.